Welcome to this issue of the podcast. My name is Richard Smith. You can find out more about me over at therichardsmith.com. Welcome to this edition of the podcast. So in today's podcast, I want to talk to you about this whole issue of the self-employed business owners and pensions. And I've just indeed finished off a very, very small book for a project I'm doing over at moneytrainers.co.uk, which is a side hustle, if you like, from the main consultancy business. But I've put a big section in there about this whole issue of the self-employed and pensions. And for those of you that are thinking about becoming self-employed or starting your own business, there's a good chance you're going to end up with a high stress, pretty piss poor job, not the freedom that you really thought you were creating. Problem we have now is we live in a gig economy. There's freelancers and self-employed are all scratching around for gig employment, and this whole dream of flexible working, when you want to work it's a bloody myth, in all fairness. Most self-employed are just free-ranging, mainly wandering around free, just looking for more work, hoping they can find some. See, there's a big difference between self-employment and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship basically means that you spend a few years in your underwear working stupid hours, doing something most people are not prepared to do in return for a lifetime of financial independence. Entrepreneurs create systems and processes that can be done by someone else while you work on the business and not in it. And for those self-employed or entrepreneurs that are considering investing in personal pensions, you have to be aware that these things are so inflexible, they're virtually useless for modern lifestyles. So what you do need to do is to sit down and carefully consider what it is you're trying to achieve. Now, from my point of view, entrepreneurship or being self-employed for me is about freedom. It's about having control of my day-to-day life, my day-to-day business, choosing who to work with and who not to work with, and being able to make my own decisions. And of course, be damned by those decisions when you get them wrong. And over a medium to long-term period, we should start to build up within our businesses assets, cash assets or physical assets that we can use for ourselves at some point in the future. And if you look at what the masses do, they invest in pensions and they hope that it will pan out. They hope that at some point in the future, just before they're pre-Zimmer, they can stop work. The reality is that, as we know, there is an industry out there promising that dream, and now more than ever, they don't care and they won't be punished for not delivering for you. But these pension issues for you as a self-employed person are really quite interesting. And if you look at what you would do if you had a spare £100, let me just give you these two scenarios. Let's say you took £100 and you invested that into a pension plan. At some point in the future, 20 or 30 or 40 years away, that pension contribution may have trebled. It may be worth £300, it may be worth £400. Based on past performance, that's the kind of maths you can look at on average. But what about if you was to put that £100 into stock? How about if you was to say, well, okay, you've got a profit margin on stock of 30%, for example, and you put that £100 into additional stock that you hope to sell. That money could be used to provide 3 or 4 times the return over a very short period of time. Time you've rolled that £100 over 3 or 4 times, you've got your money back. You've doubled your money, and you could do that in months rather than having to wait 20 or 30 or 40 years. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't invest in pensions. What I'm saying to you is you need to be very aware of what the options are, rather than just jumping in blindly and doing exactly what the masses do, when in actual fact you could be far better off doing something else with the money. Anyway, my name's Richard Smith. You can find out more about me over on the website, and I look forward to seeing you over there. Thanks for listening. My name is Richard Smith. You can find out more about me over at therichardsmith.com.